In this video, we're looking at the sine rule. So the sine rule is used for non-right angled triangles. For right angled triangles, we use our normal trigonometry, sine, cos, and tan. For non-right angled triangles, we can use what we call the sine rule. And the sine rule is A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. But in saying that, the most commonly used version is just these front two. A over sine A equals B over sine B. Now, you might be asking, where's A, where's B, or where's all this coming from? Okay, so if we, on the screen you can see your triangle. Notice that our angles, so all the corners, are labelled capitals. So we have capital A, capital B, capital C. Capitals are angles. Sides are lowercase. And you'll also notice that capital A is opposite little a. Opposite, right there. And the same thing goes for B. Big B is opposite little b. Big C is opposite little c. Alright, so your capital A and your lowercase a, they're opposites, alright? It's important to know that because when you're going to label these sides and angles, you need to make sure you're doing it correctly. So again, when we're using the sine rule to find sides, notice that the sides are on top. They're your numerator. Your denominators, your angles. So numerator is your side. Denominator is your angle when you are trying to use this formula to find sides. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So as with pretty much every trigonometry question we do, you need to always label your things first. I always like to start by labeling our unknown. In our case, our unknown is this A, so I am actually going to label that A. And as I said before, our opposite angle will be our capital. So if that's lower A, I know straight line across, that's 73, that's going to be my capital A. And then next I can do my B's, and that can be my capital B, and that can be my lowercase b. So everything's labelled that I need labelled. Now all I need to do is substitute these into the formula. So over here, if I have A over sine A equals B over sine B, I then can substitute in our values. A stays as A over sine 73 equals 12.3 over sine 35. So all I've done is I've replaced my letters in the formula with what their values are from the triangle that we labelled. Now it's your basic rearranging of these equations. I obviously want to have the lowercase a by itself. That's my subject. So to do that, I need to get rid of that divided by 73, and we know we can get rid of that by doing the opposite of division, which is multiplication. So I'm going to times by sine 73. So A is going to equal 12.3 sine 73 over sine 35. At this point, you just put this straight into a calculator and you'll get 20.5 units. At this point, I don't know what the units are, so I'm going to write units there. So again, it's always good practice. Write down that formula, label your triangles as always, substitute in, and at this point you just rearrange it. And you'll notice that with these ones, when you're trying to find an unknown side, you're just multiplying by your sine capital A in this case. Again, always label your unknowns A. It's always good to have that unknown as your first thing you're dealing with, so we don't have to do different rearrangings. If I started with labeling that A, B, there's multiple other steps I need to do. Alright, and it's just easier to label your unknowns as your A values.